Namaste.
Namaste, sir.
So good afternoon to all. I'm waiting for principal. Within 5 minutes, sir will come. We can start the session. So please, for 5 minutes, please wait, sir. I will.
Sure, sir. Sir, can you share the host this thing with me so that I can share the screen?
Yes, sure, sure. I changed that. Multiple participants.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Sir, 5 minutes, sir. I will just inform to principal, sir.
Yeah, sure. I think the screen is visible now, right?
Everything is ready.
Namaste, sir.
Dr. Shiasiji, namaste.
Namaste, sir.
Our students are joined.
Yes, around almost about 50 students are joined.
How many are joined? How can you understand?
64.
Dear students of first year, I have privilege to you to welcome to this knowledge session, which is going to start today. You know that we are not meeting each other because of this COVID-19 barrier. However, knowledge is not having barrier. Knowledge having its own source of sharing. Surrendering to the lotus feet of Param Pujya Jagadguru Sri Deshikanda Mahaswamiji, Shivaratri Sri Deshikanda Mahaswamiji, Srikhata Sutur. Also my prayer onto the lotus feet of Lord Dhanantari. Also my prayer on the lotus feet of Param Pujya Sri Ravi Shankar Gurudev. I had the privilege to welcome Dr. Siharsha, Dr. Siharsha KV. Initial is very important because that stands that respect to the family and the father as well. Dr. Siharsha is a young scientist. That's the introduction. My dear friends, my dear brothers, sisters, those are already joined, around 70 students already they are joined to this knowledge session. Dr. Siharsha KV is a young scientist. He's not only a teacher for Padarth Vigyan, he is a knowledge source for entire Ayurveda fraternity. Why I said this? Because you know all our knowledge sources are encapsulated in our classical text, that is Samhitas. So his post-graduation in the department of Samhita and Siddhanta, many people they mistaken that teacher is only teaching Padarth Vigyan. They don't know what is the source of Padarth Vigyan. The Padarth Vigyan source is right from the Vedas to the Upanishad to all these epics to the philosophical backgrounds and to all our manuscripts, that is our Charak Sahita, Sushanta, Bhagavata, and so many that Dr. Siharsha is going to put in his introductory speech. He is going to speak to you. In nutshell, this department and so also called these teachers are play the pivotal role to shape you into the ocean of Ayurveda. They will really give an impression how to take a deep, what you call as the bath, take a deep in our ocean. That to say, how much you should go, how to go, how to read, how to understand. This is their really, credibility in the department of Samhita. Sanskrit as well. So, dear friends, you have come out after studying of 10+2 and almost you have completed in the first year duration 12 months too. Now, why this is required? This is required because this, in my perception, this basic department is the department for making you to understand the Ayurveda in totality. And many of our students, they won't give the importance they gave importance for Rachana and Kriya as well. Being head of the institution, it's my topmost responsibility to see that this department teachers are going to transfer the knowledge. In that, we thought that the Center of Excellency like Sri Ayurvedic, Sri College of Science and Research, Bangalore, Government Ayurvedic College, Bangalore, and there are a few other luminaries. They are invited for this program, and they are going to share their knowledge along with our teachers, Dr. Madam Shruti and Dr. Rishikesh, and so on. Therefore, it's equally important this series, as you have attended the earlier series of international webinar. We have conducted a few international webinars. As you have given the topmost priority to gain the knowledge, similarly also this session you have to attend, keeping your mind, body and soul for this guest speaker, whatever they are speaking, and grab as much as possible. You also witness the Sanskrit series is going on. So I compliment the Sanskrit madam and also the guest speakers. They have shared their knowledge. Therefore, Padarthi Vigyan tomorrow, maybe some other subject will come in the department. You have to be careful. This is for you, this is for you, and this is for you once again. Whatever they say, that is whatever they have gained their knowledge. So Dr. Sir has got a lot of credibility in his 7 years of post-graduation. After post-graduation research, he's a ambassador. It's a twinkle star product of CC in the undergraduations, having a lot of credibility. And he has pursued his post-graduation from another one Center of Excellency, SDM Hassan. And I have seen that he has got his own research in the manuscriptology. He himself is a past professional in the computer science to design anything else. So in nutshell, you have a beautiful teacher today with you, my dear brothers, sisters, in the name of Dr. C.S. KV, Associate Professor, Department of Samhita Siddhanta, CC College of Science and Research. Also, at the outset, I submit my thanks and gratitude to the Department HOD, Dr. C. Nagesh, who has been instrumental shaping the department at Sri and also permitting Dr. Sir to share the knowledge. Also, I compliment and thanks the principal of the CC Ayurvedic College, Dr. Professor Ganesh Puturji, for making this happen from his end side, permitting Dr. KV, Srs KV to share this knowledge. Dr. Sir, you feel that these students are yours only, okay? So this is knowledge is unlimited. Whatever best you know in your 6 years UG, 3 years PG, and 7 years post-graduation, post-graduation department. So altogether, you will be having not less than 16, 17 years in this Ayurvedic field. 6 plus 3, 9 plus 7. Yeah. So it is 16 years, 15 years plus 16 years you are churning the Ayurveda. So whatever Amrita you have collected, I request you to share with my students. And they are your brothers and sisters.
Sure, sir. Thank you very much for your...
Once again, behalf of the institution, behalf of the department, behalf of management, hearty welcome to you, Dr. Shihar, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
I pray God that your knowledge should reach every nook and corner of this globe. Thank you very much.
Sure, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Ending portion, I may not able to come, Dr. Shihar, sir, because I have got a meeting today with the other staffs. So therefore, I am also submitting my thanks and gratitude to you and through you to your HOD, to your colleagues in the department, Madam Sane, Dr. Srikarji, and Dr. Sethi, and finally to the principal, Dr. Ganesh Puturji. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Over to Rishikesh. Come back. 2 minutes. You just keep the microphone here.
श्रुतिस्मृति पुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शंकरं लोकशंकरम्. My dear students, for understanding Shruti and Smriti, we have to surrender in the lotus feet of Sri Shankaracharya. So this shloka is saying, if you want to understand this, like those personalities, we have to surrender. So today we got a distinguished personality from Sri Sri College of Ayurveda, Dr. Sri Harsha sir. So all of you please surrender in his lotus feet and take the knowledge to you and to utilize it in your, as a physician and in your daily life also. Utilize this and try to be better, become a good person and a good physician. So I'm welcoming you, sir, and I'm thankful you, sir, for within a short period of time you consider us, you given us time, your valuable time for to our students. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Please take your time. Please, thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. At the outset, I would like to thank the principal, Dr. Sarveshwar sir, for providing me an opportunity to speak before you regarding the subject of Padartha Vijnana. I would also like to surrender my offerings to Sri Deshikendra Shivarartheshwara Deshikendra Mahaswamiji, Sri Kshetra Suttur, and also thank my HOD Dr. Shinagir sir and all my colleagues and faculty who are working in my college, and my principal Dr. Ganesh Puttur sir for permitting me for taking this opportunity. I also thank Dr. Rishikesh and also the doctors, faculty members of the Department of Samhita, Samskrita and Siddhanta of JSS Medical College, Ayurveda Medical College, and also other faculty and management of JSSAMC Medical College for providing this opportunity. But importantly, I would also like to welcome all the students studying this particular subject and you for understanding whole aspects of, that is the wholesome aspects of Padartha Vijnana. You have already come across with the details of each and every topic from your teachers already. But now, as Dr. Sarveshwar sir already said, that dealing this with totality or in a nutshell is very, very important. What we call it as a Simhavalokana is very, very important. Now, if we consider the subject of Padartha Vijnana, we usually consider this Padartha Vijnana as a philosophical subject used for practical applications. This is a very important aspect which we need to always remember. When we say Padartha Vijnana, that is, we have to have the knowledge or Vishesha Jnana about the Padartha. When you come to the Lakshana of Padartha, you have already studied that it should be one, a Padartha is one which is having the Astitva, Abhideyatva and Gneyatva. That is one which is having some existence. It is also having a name or a nomenclature, and also it should have some knowability, that you should be interested in it to know about something, one thing, and also there should be something in it wherein you have the opportunity to learn or opportunity to think about, opportunity to extract or exploit or explore. All these things are the lakshanas of the Padartha. So therefore, anything and everything which exists, which is named by something and also which has some purpose, all these things come under the purview of Padartha Vijnana. That is why it is very important not only for us to understand the Padartha only for the study purpose of the BAMS curriculum, but also to understand ourselves, because we are also a Padartha, right? Everything in and around us is a Padartha. So therefore, coming to the aspect which we are going to deal today is the approach towards the subject of Padartha Vijnana, specifically with focus to the examination, because it has been requested by your faculty members and also the principal to focus more on the examination pattern and also how to look or how to approach the subject of Padartha Vijnana for the university examinations. So you know that the Padartha Vijnana text as such, that is the subject as such, has been classified into two major papers, that is the paper 1 and paper 2. Wherein in paper 1 you have another part A and part B. In paper 2 also you have part A and part B. So in part A you have in the paper 1 you have the Ayurveda Nirupana, you have the introduction about different darshanas, and also you have the introduction of Ayurveda as a darshana, how Ayurveda is proposed as a darshana. You have the also the the explanations regarding the Dravya Vijnana, that is the Vishesha Jnana about Dravya, has been detailed in the paper 1, especially the part A. Then following that, in the part 2 you have the other aspects, that is Guna Vijnana, then you have the Karma Vijnana, then Samanya, Vishesha, Samavaya, all these things have been dealt. That is the Karanas or the Shat Karanas, what we call, all those things have been covered. Later you have the Abhava Vijnana also specifically dealt. So this is all about the paper 1. So we will be dealing today about the important aspects of the questions which we come across in the paper 1 as well as in the paper 2. So in the paper 2, where you have once again two parts divided, wherein you have the Padartha Vijnana as well as the Ayurveda Itihasa part. So this paper 2 will consist of 200 marks. It is usually given as for 200 marks in the examination. So in paper 1 you have 100 marks and paper 2 you have 100 marks. So in paper 2, it is classified once again into 75 and 25. 75 marks is completely dedicated to the Padartha Vijnana part, wherein you will be learning about the Pariksha. That is, you have Chaturvida Pariksha. You know that there are something which is, now we said that Padartha is something which is existing, right? That is, which has Astitva, or one which is always true. So we have a classification of Sat and Asat, that is one which exists and one which does not exist. So you have to do the pariksha of it, whether it exists or not, or whether it is helpful for us or not. So therefore, Vividhamev Khalu Satcha Asatcha Tasya Chaturvida Pariksha Pratyaksham Aptopadesham Pratyaksham Anumanam Yuktischaiti. That's how it is told in Charaka Samhita. Therefore, specifically we are learning here that the pariksha, that is how to test whether something is there or not there, or one which is useful or not useful. For that we have these parikshas called Aptopadesha Pariksha, then you have the Pratyaksha Pariksha, then Anuman Pariksha and Yukti Pariksha. Along with that, you have also the pramanas which have been explained by different darshanas, and also the pramana which has been specifically explained by Acharya Sushruta in his Sushruta Samhita, specifically dealing with the Upamana Pramana. So that also has been covered in detail. Then you have something called the Siddhanta, which is very important. Therefore, the Siddhanta which have been dealt here in the Padartha Vijnana paper 2 is the Karya Karana Siddhanta. That is, everything will have every Karya will have a Karana. So therefore, understanding the aspects of Karana as well as the Karya is very, very important. Therefore, you can see that these aspects related to the Karya and Karana and its and its applications in Ayurveda has been dealt in detail here. After you complete this is all about the part A of the paper 2, wherein you have the Pariksha, all the Pariksha and the Karya Karana Siddhanta. And then in the part B, you have completely dedicated syllabus specifically to the Ayurveda Itihasa. Now, we see that the Ayurveda Itihasa part of the Padartha Vijnana is usually left, or it is not given much importance by the students. And because of that, we see that statistically also, that in many of the colleges of Ayurveda, we see that in the paper 2, the students score a little less marks as compared to the paper 1. So therefore, the reason behind this may be that the aspects related to the Ayurveda Itihasa is a little more, or it is more descriptive, and you probably will not have an idea as how to concise it for the 10 mark, for the 5 marks or the 2 marks, because this particular part, that is part B of Ayurveda Itihasa, is usually not given for 10 marks. It will come under the 5 marks or the 3 marks category. That is for the short essays and also for the short answers. Only in this section these will be asked. We have seen that in the RGHS question papers, it is not asked, this question is not asked for the long essay question, right? As a long essay question, you do not get the questions from Ayurveda Itihasa part or the part B of paper 2. Therefore, you have to always concentrate on the long essays, right? Which are having the importance from the part A, specifically in paper 2. Okay. In paper part B of paper 2, you have to more consider more of the aspects related to the 5 marks as well as 3 marks, that is short essays and short answers, which will be much helpful for you to answer and also prepare for the same. So this is all about the syllabus which we just discussed in a nutshell. That is, the syllabus is mainly comprising of the Darshana part, and you have the Pariksha part, then you have the Siddhanta part, and then the Itihasa part. So if these 4 sections are completely well versed, or if you go through all these things, then the subject of Padartha Vijnana and Ayurveda Itihasa will not be very much difficult for you. It is just that you have to understand the steps involved, and also you should know that what all is dealt in each section, so that it will be easy for you to understand and also interpret the shlokas which come under these, and also quote them specifically whenever it is asked or under those particular sections. So today we will be discussing in detail about what will be the pattern of the questions which will be asked in the examination, and also how you need to prepare for the same. I'll also be sharing the questions which will be usually asked for 10 marks, that is as long essay questions, for 5 marks as short essays, and also for 3 marks as short answers. I'll be just sharing the PDF also with you and also with Dr. Rishikesh, so that it can be circulated all over. And you can practice with those questions specifically. We will take few examples from those and discuss whenever possible. If you have any doubts in between, you are free to ask anytime. Okay. So you know that your question paper will consist of 3 sections of questions. That is the 10-mark question, which will be comprising of 2 long essay questions. Then you have the short essays. Now you can see here that there are 2 kinds of essays to be written. Now, like unlike your papers in up to your PUC or your time +2, you were probably focusing more on the direct questions. But here you can see that the pattern of answering will be an essay type. Essay means it should have a particular format in which you are going to write it. So you have long essays and short essays. So therefore, there is no much difference between the pattern in which you are going to write it. Only the quantity matters. Now it is very, very clear here that it is an essay. Both are types of essays, but one is long and other is short. And then you have the short answers. That is, you have to just answer to whatever question is asked. So you have only mainly 2 sections, that is essay types and the short answers type. So in essay type, you have the long one and the short one. Then you have the short answers. That's all. So only 3 types of questions will be appearing for you, or you have to write 3 types of answers to the questions which are asked. Okay. So let us see that how you need to identify or what steps you need to take when you start approaching that particular question. The first thing what you have to see is whether it is a long question, short essay, or it is a short answer. You will be usually having a verb associated with the question. Okay. So the common verbs or the action verbs which are associated with the questions are define. For example, it will be define Ayurveda or define the Padartha. It will be like that. That is, it is a specific question asked. So when you say define, then you need to define it. So you have to answer for that particular question. So this particular action verb may be associated with different purposes, or it can be like define Ayurveda or define Padartha. Then write the classification of Padartha according to different darshanas. So when you have such kind of question, it will be the definition of the Padartha will be carrying a particular mark, and the next part of the question, that is write the classification of Padartha according to different darshanas, will be the second part of the question. So if define Padartha is a question, that may carry around 2 marks, and the rest of the question may carry around 3 marks. So totally it will be 5 marks. So you will always have to see that what is the weightage of marks given or probably given while the question is appearing to you. So therefore, the most important thing what you have to identify is the action verb, that is define or write or explain. It can be enumerate, it can be differentiate, it can be distinguishing, or it can be classifying. So let us understand one by one that what does it mean, because whatever is asked as action verb will be expected by you. So therefore, definition means what you have to define. That is, you should say what is it according to a particular person or according to a particular text or a particular quotation. So when you say Padartha, definition of Padartha, you need to define it. Whatever definition is given as such, that definition has to be specifically mentioned. If it is set as write, then you need to write it. That is, you need to elaborate it. Okay? Then when you have the explanation, that is, explanation means what? You need to explain it. That is, why is it told here, or what was the need for it, and what is its applications. So these 3 aspects should be covered whenever you are explaining something. When you have explaining something, one thing what you will say is why it is included here, what is the need, and how it will be helpful for us. These needs to be explained, right? Then there is something called the enumerate. What is enumerate? Enumerate means you need to list it. Enumeration is just listing. Okay. For example, some questions will be like enumerate the lakshanas of the dravya according to the Nyaya Darshana, or it can be enumeration of the guna according to Vaisheshika Darshana. So you have to just enumerate. You have to enumerate one by one, or you have to just write down in a line what all has been asked. So therefore, enumeration will be usually associated with answers which will carry a lot of numbers. That is, if the answer contains a lot of list of something, then there will be enumeration. This action verb will be usually used to ask a question to enumerate. Okay. Then there is one more type of question called the differentiation. Differentiate between what? Differentiate between the dravya and guna. That may be a question. Okay. Or differentiate between the anumana pariksha and the pratyaksha pariksha. So you differentiate means what you have to do. You have to list out the similarities as well as differences. You have to list it out. Mainly the differences have to be listed out whenever this differentiate word is usually asked. That is, what is the differentiating factor, or what makes one different from the other. That has to be specifically mentioned. You can also take help of the quotations based on which these differentiations are seen, or you can also differentiate on the basis of the gunas or the properties which that particular subject heading will usually be preferred of. Then you have one more action verb called distinguish. Distinguishing factor, we say. Distinguish means what? It is to highlight or to keep it a little above or keep it separate. Okay? So distinguishing factor means you distinguish from that. from the group of things. If you distinguish something, then that is called as distinguishing. So this distinguishing factors will be usually carried with these special factors. For example, when you say that the Dravya Pradhanata, when it is asked, so among the all the other padarthas, Dravya is have all the Shat padarthas when you consider, Dravya is having a lot of importance. So that is highlighted, right? And the Navakarana Dravyas also will be highlighted. So all these things will be coming under the distinguishing factor. What is the thing which will keep it apart or separate or in a special place, that needs to be explained. Then you may also have a question wherein it is asked as classification or classify. Now we took the example of the classification of padartha according to different darshanas, right? So this classification is also having a lot of importance. You have classifications in many aspects, especially in Padartha Vijnana, you have a lot of classifications made, and you can represent it very well because you can prepare charts, or you can prepare flow charts, or you can also make certain diagrams through which you can represent the classification of those. So by doing this, you will be clearly identifying the things. The examiner also will know what to be evaluated, and specifically it will be addressed. So it will be of much importance whenever you have this identification of the action verb properly identified. If you properly identify the action verb, then the answer, whatever you present, will be very, very apt. Okay, so this is very important with respect to the identification of the action verb. Then,
excuse me, sir.
yeah,
Hello. Sir, is distinguish and differentiation both are same, no, sir?
both are almost similar. That is what I wanted to say. That differentiating between differentiate means it will be more of differentiating both the things. For example, differentiating between the Anumana Pramana and Pratyaksha Pramana. It is like that. Distinguishing means you are going to highlight the factors which are important, or what makes it special. For example, distinguish Anumana Pramana from Pratyaksha Pramana. If it is asked, then you will be highlighting the features of Anumana Pramana mainly. That is, where whatever the lacunas of Pratyaksha Pramana are there, that you will be telling, and telling that Anumana Pramana is more superior than the the Pratyaksha Pramana. So therefore, you are going to differentiate at the first step at a very subtle level, and then next you are going to highlight the speciality. So that is the importance of distinguishing. We say distinguishing factor. That means one which is having an attractive factor, or one which makes it more, that needs to be highlighted here. So therefore, differentiating means it is just differentiating. There is what is this and what is that. Okay. Distinguishing means highlighting the important factor in that. Hope you understood.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes. Fine. So the next thing what we want to what we have to understand is the page distribution. You know that now the pattern is the total number of pages in the university answer booklet will be around 50. There may be one extra sheet for the notes, but usually now the booklet what is usually printed along with the question paper, it will have 50 pages exactly. Okay. So the ideal page distribution, what is decided by the university is, you will have the long essays. There is 2 long essays you will have. So you can write it in 10 pages. That is, it will. So if it is a 100 marks paper, you will have 2 long essay questions. So therefore, 10 pages can be used for writing one particular question. So you will be allotted around 20 pages for the long essays. And you have the short essay questions wherein you can write it in 2 pages. That is, there will be 10 short essay questions. So therefore, you have 20 pages for it. And you have the short essay questions, short answers, which carry usually 3 marks, and 1 page can be utilized completely. There is one side of the sheet can be completely used for writing the short answer. and you will be left with 10 pages. So totally you will be having 50 pages. Okay, and now you know that the question number also is printed on the booklet, so you have to write it only on the designated page numbers. Okay, so this is very important. That is, write the question answers only in the designated pages. That is, if you want to write the question number 1, so wherever this question number 1 is already printed on the answer booklet, only there you have to start your answer. Okay, and also it is very important to note that you have to write the answer under the proper possible headings. That is, whatever, for example, you have the Vishesha Siddhanta, if it is asked, then the highlights of the Vishesha Siddhanta, the propounder of the Vishesha Siddhanta, the applications of the Vishesha Siddhanta, etc. Like this, you have to make some headings, proper possible headings, and then write the content under that. You know that the long essay questions usually always has a lot of subheadings, and the distribution of the marks also is with the distribution of the content of the matter, whatever you write. So we know that the question paper also is set up in that way only. That is, for example, when we took define padartha, write the classification of the padartha according to the questioners, also write the application of padartha in Ayurveda. If this is a long essay question, then, as I said, 5 marks will be 2 marks will be dedicated for the definition, writing the definition of the padartha. 3 marks will be allotted for the classification, and other 5 marks will be for the application. So application of the padartha in Ayurveda will be very important. So that needs to be properly represented or properly written by the student, and that's how it will be evaluated and it will be given marks. So any component of the answer, if it is not properly addressed, then you will lose mark for that particular component of the answer. Therefore, identifying the components of the answer and writing accordingly is very important. Okay, so it is not only important for the student but also for the evaluator. It will be very easy, because once they see the subheadings or the headings under which you have written the content, it will be easy for them to evaluate and also allot marks specifically, and then you will save a lot of time. That is why each and every detail of whatever you know can be put into those particular headings, so that you also will have a clarity on your presentation, and the evaluator also will have a very clear picture of what you have understood and what you have represented. Okay, then specifically for long essays, or for short essays, you can write your content in under different headings. Like you can write an introduction, you can write the definition, you can write the types, the functions, and the applications. In this way you can write. Of course, you can modify at the level of types, functions, or applications, because types and functions may not be there for each and every answer, but you may have some other details of that particular answer. So that can be written under these headings. There is no rule that you should not write the headings. If you write the headings and underline it, it will have a lot of importance, because it will get highlighted automatically, and we will also know that the evaluators will know that what content might be there under that heading, so that it will be easy for us to go through the content very easily, and you also will have a ease to write the content under a particular heading. Okay. So another important point which we were focusing is, the last part, that is the applications. So the applied aspects of the Padartha Vijnana, especially with respect to this subject, that is in Padartha Vijnana, this is very important. That is writing the applied aspect of that particular concept. So you should make a mandate that always, whenever you write any answer, write the applied aspect of for each question. Okay. So why it is important? Because it will give the examiner an understanding of what the subject intends to teach, or what you have learned from that particular concept. Now, the overall idea of the concept will be usually seen, and also it will be confirmed with the example which has been given by you in reference to the applied aspect. And definitely it will give you extra marks, because application of that particular concept in clinics, or application of that concept in research, or any kind of industry. For example, it may be drug industry, it can be in pharmacology, it can be in physiology, it can be in anatomy, or it can be in biochemistry, or any of the subject of science. The application of this concept in a particular science, or for a particular purpose, that if it is highlighted, then it will definitely give you more marks, because you have thought out of the box. That is, your thoughts and applications will be always given extra weightage. Then when you write these kind of specific things, don't forget to underline or make a box. Okay, that important heading, whatever you are writing, that can be highlighted with the help of underlining it, or also you can make a particular box, so that with the pencil, or the pen itself, there is the black pen is usually used, so with the black pen itself you can underline, or you can make a box, so that it will catch the attention of the examiner whenever he is evaluating. So if you are able to catch the attention of the examiner, okay, because you know that presentation matters always. If your presentation is good, then definitely it will be accepted. So some of the useful tips which are much helpful for you during the examination is, always read the questions very, very carefully. That is, always identify the action verb, identify the components of the answer, and then start writing the answer. Okay, and always follow an order of the components. That is, if the definition is asked, then classification is asked, and then the explanation is asked, then always follow that particular order. Don't explain first, in between don't write the definition, and then cope up with other aspects of the answer. The components of the answer, however it is asked, if it is even if it is a short essay also, always follow the rule or the order of the components of the question asked. Okay, that will be much helpful, and also it will make sure that you have attended that particular component of the answer. Okay. Then always start with easy questions. It is a suggestion by everybody, of course, that is done by you also, that some students tend to write the difficult questions first, because they will forget probably whatever they have learned. So in that particular fear, they usually write the difficult questions first, but they will take a lot of time, and the lot of time is also wasted with that. So better you always start with the easy questions, because there is a time limit for everything. So if seeing the time, you should always make sure that you write faster and faster. Therefore, easy questions should be written first, or whatever you feel as easy should be written first. Then you can go with the difficult part. What I usually prefer, especially for short Padartha Vijnana, is try to write the paper, or try to start the paper from the short essays. Anyway, now you have the booklet which is printed with the questions, so you can come back anytime and you will identify easily that where have I left that particular question. Because if you are not attending a particular question, that means you will be leaving it blank, right? Only in the designated place or designated page you are going to write the answer. Therefore, you can start from the short essays. That is, from the 21st page you can start short essays, so that the short essays always will contain more marks. You know that the paper is for 100 marks. Among that, 50 marks, that is the passing marks, what we call the passing marks is 50 marks. So passing marks is allocated to the short essay part. That is, you have 5 marks into 10 questions. You have 10 questions of 5 marks, which will carry 50 marks. That is the maximum mark scoring area. And therefore, whenever you identify that this is the area in which you have maximum score, then you have to allocate more time for it. I'm not saying that you should leave the long essays or the short answers, but you need to see that more time should be invested and also more concentration, more focus should be there for short essays, because if you score more than 4 per question for the short essays, easily you will be getting above 40, right? Then with the short answers and also the long essay questions, definitely you can score more, right? So already you will have an idea about the short essays, short answers, of course, because they are short. Then long essays you will be well versed because it will be repeated and you will have limited portions or limited things which are usually asked for long essays. So therefore you are very sure that if you if you write the answers very well for the 50 marks, that is the 5 short essays, so for the 10 short essays, definitely your long essays and your short answers will take care of your scoring better, that is above 70 or 75. Therefore, what is my advice is prefer starting with short essays, that is which will cover the maximum portion. Then you can start with the short answers, which will also provide you with a lot of marks, because you are writing in very short, but you are getting more marks, or the yield is much. Whereas in for the long essay questions, it can be kept at the last. But of course, you should be very careful whenever you are allocating this long essay questions to be kept at the last. When it is kept at the last, you should make sure that you need to complete it within the time. Otherwise, you may fall short of the paper or you may fall short of the time. Okay, so this will be very helpful, a useful thing if you can implement this in a proper way. Don't think that the long essays are very difficult and leave it. So the thumb rule is don't leave any question. That is, you should not leave any question unattempted. All questions should be attempted by you. Okay. There is one useful tip usually done is you have to just start writing about that particular topic. You may feel that, oh, I do not know anything about that. For example, Abhaga Vijnana is asked for 5 marks. Then even if you do not know much about that particular topic, start thinking about that. Try to write it, write the heading, write some common headings, and also think about it. As and when you think, you will be finding the way in which you can elaborate it. At the same time, you may also start remembering many things, because when the initiation starts as an interest, then you will have many things associated with which will help you. One more important thing which you have to always concentrate upon is managing the time. The time should be managed well. Okay, if you are not seeing the time and just writing in detail, especially for 2 marks, or if there is for the 3 marks, or even for the 5 marks, then it will be a lot of time taking endeavor. So you should be always careful in seeing the clock every time. Okay. Then once you finish it, have at least 2 to 3 minutes or at least 5 minutes to review it. That is, once you complete the answer booklet completely, then you have to review it. So reviewing the answer is very important, because you should not leave any component of the answer. No component of the answer should be left as it is. Therefore, you have to review it. Then one more thing, we see that many students want to leave early. That is, once they complete, they want to go home, or they want to leave the hall. This should not be done. Please do not leave the hall till the complete time ends. You have the university is allocating a particular time for you, and for that it takes a lot of efforts also. So therefore, at least till the hall ticket is until the time is over, you are not supposed to leave the hall. Okay, so that you will get ample amount of time to review and also see how your presentation was. This will also help you in understanding that how much marks you may get in each section. That also will be the possibility which can be seen. Okay. So now we will see that how should you approach, that is, how should you write a question. So we will start from the 3 mark question. So these 3 marks questions will always be direct. That is, it will be a 1 word question or it will be very, very simple, like the definition, or it may be paribhasha, or it may be the nirukti, or it may be write about a particular guna, that is enumeration of the gunas or something like that. So the questions will be usually direct. It will not be linear, or it will not be on some discussion or something. So the 3 marks question is always easy to answer, and it will come in a very limited manner also, and it will be very, very direct. So you need to make sure that you have 1 page completely for writing the 3 marks question. So you need to um, fill the answer paper at least up to the 3/4 of it, right? So therefore always write in 4 to 5 sentences. You can have a little gap also. If you know any shloka related to that particular question, then that also can be included under this. This will be much helpful. Okay. So then next one is the short essays. We know that the short essays are usually having some components, right? So therefore always you need to answer the essays in paragraphs. Always paragraphs writing is much preferred for the essays. So when once we say that the long answer, if it is essay, the same thing has to be written in a short way, right? Therefore, the short essays have to be written in the paragraphs. We saw that the 3 marks question have to be, or the short answers have to be written in 4 to 5 sentences, or you can also write a shloka there, or some formula given, or anything like that. But if it is a short essay question, you have to write it in paragraphs. Then you have ample scope to write here. So therefore you can write in 2 complete pages about that particular answer. And you can see that the explanation is expected here. So explanation of the terms which have been enumerated by you in the short essay, that needs to be explained. So explanation is an expectation in short essays. Then you have to maximum try to quote the shlokas. Though it is not mandatory for the 3 mark question sometimes to have a shloka and also the explanation, but for the 5 marks or the short essays, you need to write the shloka. Then it will be more attractive, and also it will give you more marks. Then, as we said, it is an essay. Therefore, it should follow the headings as introduction, definition, types, function, then applications. In short, it need not be very long because it is a short essay. Therefore, applications, whatever you have understood about that particular concept, that can be presented in the paper. Then approach to the long essay questions. Long essay questions are very, very important because you have to you can have 20 marks, and also you can impress the examiner with that, because you will have so many things to write. So therefore you can impress the examiner with very good diagrams or pictorial representations, or even with charts, etc. Okay, so you have the opportunity to write in 10 pages. You have to read the question again and again, because then it may go quite confusing, because you may feel that okay, you will write you will see one particular word of the question, and then feel that it is you may assume that it is similar to the questions which you have already prepared, but it may be a little different, because the 10 marks question will be usually a little elaborate also. So therefore always read the question again and again. Then for long essay you need to plan the answer. For the 3 marks or even for the 5 marks you need to plan, but the planning for the long essay is very, very important, because you may not be left with a lot of time also. So therefore you need to plan the answer properly and then write it. So first thing what you have to do is write an introduction. Then after writing the introduction, you need to build the answer. And while you are building the answer, you have to elaborate these particular things under the headings, like types, like the functions or the karma, or even the applicability. That is, you have a application in teaching. It may be application in Ayurveda. It may be in implication or applicability in the pharmaceutical research, or it may be the applicability in the general public, or applicability under different sciences, etc. Okay, so any kind of elaboration required has to be put into these particular headings That is the types, functions, and applicability. This is very, very, very important, which has to be always not to be forgotten. Then divide the answer into different components. That is that we have already discussed, that the components of the answer should be identified, they should be differentiated, and then it can be adopted properly, right? And then at the same time, when you are dividing the the answer into different components, then also you can make sure that you have the examples for it. The suitable examples for a particular concept will be much helpful in understanding it, right? It will remain for longer period of time, so that you can always have a applied aspect of it that will be usually seen in the answer. Okay. Now the most important thing is you have already studied, you know the answers, and also you know how to write the answer. But how to make the answers more attractive? Many times you feel that your paper itself is not much attractive, and the neighbor's paper is much good to see, or it is, the examiner may also feel that it is very, very nice. We are not talking here about the the writing part. That is how you need to write. You are improving your handwriting. Of course, that has to also be worked out. But assuming that you all have already been trained as how to write answers, the first thing which we have to consider is the quoting of the shlokas in Padartha Vijnana, because whenever you have more shlokas, the attractiveness will be better, and also people will love to evaluate the paper. Then always use the Sanskrit words. This is always a mandate which is usually given by different teachers all over, but even then it is quite not followed many times. The Sanskrit words, why we are asking is because it is the technical term. So if the technical terms are written in their own language, it will be easy for us to develop it. Okay. Then there can be charts also. Some pictorial charts also can be prepared by the students, and it can be studied properly, and then you can represent it. You can also represent flowcharts, especially in the post-graduation level. This is very, very common, right? That is, the flowcharts are usually used. Then you have seen that the tables can also be prepared. Now, when we have the classification or enumeration of something, some tables can be prepared, and then you can present it. You can also present with the pictures or even drawings, or you can have the titles and subtitles also, right? So these things you can write it, or you can have an idea of it, that however you can present the paper. So these are the methods through which you are going to highlight your particular work. So therefore, underlying and highlighting is also very important aspects which we were discussing. That is the underlining the important aspect, and also highlighting by which you are going to highlight the importance of that particular concept. Okay, so that is very, very important. There are few common mistakes which we usually do. That is, many times you might have heard that some results are withheld. So these withheld results are usually because of these common mistakes which are done by the students. Sometimes the serial number is missing. Sometimes incorrect serial numbers are written. Sometimes some unwanted things will be there. Okay, which are not necessary. Then repeating the answers. That is, if you have already answered a question number 2, once again answering it in the answering it is done, then the repetition of the answers will not fetch you more marks. Of course, this cannot be done this time because you have already the question numbers have been printed. But even now, this time also we have seen that some people have wrongly written the this thing in the designated places. They have not written; they have written it elsewhere. For example, you want to start from the 5 marks or the short essay questions, but you start from the first page. If this is happening, then it will be very difficult, because the short essay is specifically asked to be written from the 21st page. But if you write it here, then you will lose a lot of marks, and you will also have to compromise with the the person or the answers with different headings. So it will be difficult for you. So do not repeat the answers, and also make sure that you write the answers in the designated pages only. And also, most importantly, don't copy or involve in malpractice. That is, you should not make go to see the other papers or neighbor papers, and then have different means of writing the paper. That should be avoided. So these are the common mistakes which are usually done. Okay, so with this we complete the nature, the approach through which you can write the answers. There is especially the 10-mark question. There is a long essay, the short essays, and short answers. So with this, probably writing the Padartha Vijnana will be more easier for you. Now we will be I'll share some of the the questions which we usually come across with Padartha Vijnana 1 and 2. So if you see that the long essays are usually asked, for 10 marks from Padartha Vijnana in this way. For example, as I said, define Ayurveda Siddhanta and its types. Explain in detail about all the types of Siddhanta with examples. Right. So now you have 3 components of this particular answer. Define Ayurveda Siddhanta, right, and its types. That is, you have to define Ayurveda Siddhanta, that is Siddhanta. Then you have to write the types of Siddhanta, then explain in detail about all the types of Siddhanta with examples. So therefore, now you have, see, define Ayurveda Siddhanta, you have 2 marks. Types, you will have 3 marks. Then the explain in detail about the types of Siddhanta, you will have 5 marks. So totally it will carry for 10 marks. Then we will see another question. Define Darshana and their classification with reasons and explain in detail about Astika Darshana. So now you see that define Darshana, it is 2 marks. Write their classification with reasons. That is how the classification of Darshana has been done along with the reasons. If you write, then you may get 5 marks for it. So 5 plus 2, 9. One more mark is specifically for 5 plus 2, it is 7 marks. Then another 3 marks for explain in detail about Astika Darshana. So you need to know, already you have classified here what are the types of darshanas. Under that Astika Darshana and Nastika Darshana you would have mentioned. You have mentioned only here in the classification, but now you are going to explain in detail about Astika Darshana, which will carry 3 marks. So totally you will get 10 marks. So you need to divide the components of the answer first, and also see what is the action verb. Now the action verb here is define, classify, explain, right? I think you got to know now. That is, we know that, see, in the this thing we have already sorry. So we have already seen that during the, sorry, I think I am able to share, right?
Yes, sir. But the questions now only came. Now only.
Okay, fine. Sorry. The questions specifically we were discussing. See, now the Ayurveda Siddhanta, now define Darshana. So definition, that action verb of define is mentioned here. Then classification is also mentioned. Explain. So 3 action verbs are there here. In the first question also, define Siddhanta. So that has been told. Then when they say ask that types, write the types. And then here there is one more, this thing, explain in detail about all the types of Siddhanta with the examples. So 2 action verbs are there here. So identify what action verb has been asked, and then also guess that what may be the quantum of the marks allotted for this particular component of the answer. So this is how you have to approach the long essay. Then like this you have many questions, around 20 questions I have listed from paper 1. If you see the short essay, then types of Siddhanta with examples. See, it is the component which is there in the long essay only, but it can be you asked for 5 marks like this. So here see types of Siddhanta with examples have been asked. So for 5 marks this is asked. Now you can see the second question, classification of Darshana with reasons. This was there in the first question also, that is in the long essay. So a part of the long essay can be asked for the short essay also. So the classification of Darshana with reasons can be a question for 5 marks. This will fetch you 5 marks. See, now Astika Darshana as such, only Astika Darshana if it is asked, then you have to write a little introduction. You have to write the types or what are the types of or the enumeration of the Astika Darshanas, what were the Astika Darshanas, and then you can also write the importance of it and the application. So these things are expected in a 5-mark question. Then you have questions which carry the 3 marks, that is the short answer. For example, like Lakshanas of Ayu, that is the Lakshana of Ayu has to be just enumerated. So we said that it will be pinpointed, it will be direct, and you have to just enumerate it, or you have to write the shloka if you know Lakshanas of Ayu. Then Ayurveda is also Hitahitam Sukham Dukham Ayustasya Hitahitam Manam Chetrokam Ayurveda Uchyate. This shloka has to be written and you have to write the explanation of it. That's it. So you will definitely get 3 marks for it. You have to write the shloka, write the reference properly, and write the explanation. You will definitely get complete marks for this particular shloka, okay, or this particular answer. Now, this basic principles of Ayurveda, you need to just enumerate basic principles of Ayurveda. You have this question, right, in the syllabus, like that. Now, if you have a question like types of padartha, so those types of padartha, you need to just elaborate or you have to enumerate, okay. Karana Dravya, what are the Venama Karana Dravya? So 9 Karana Dravyas you have to enlist. So you'll get 3 marks completely if you write the 9 Karana Dravyas, okay. Like this. So you have many questions, like I have listed around 83 questions under the short answers, which will be much helpful. All the topics are covered in this particular this thing. That is, you have the 20 around 20 long essays. You have around I think there are 60 short essays and 83 short answers, which will cover most of the questions which cover from the Ayurvedic Padartha Vijnana 1 part, that is paper 1. Okay. Then we will go to the paper 2. When in Padartha Vijnana 2, you have the similar kind of approach, but we need to also focus a little bit on the Ayurvedic Itihasa part. Now you can see that there are around 21 questions which we have listed from the Padartha Vijnana 2 part, but you can see that there is no question from the Ayurveda Itihasa part. You have all the questions from the Pariksha part or the Karya Karana Siddhanta mainly. Okay, so only in short essays you will find the questions from Ayurveda Itihasa. So at the last you can find that what are the questions which we usually come across with respect to the Itihasa part. There's the 25 marks which are allocated specifically for that. So you have Brihatris, about Dhanvantri, about Atreya Sampradaya, or about the Shalya Sampradaya you may get. There is you may get it according to the Shalya Sampradaya or Atreya Sampradaya. Then about WHO you may get, because now whatever is the current trend, those things may also be asked specifically. Role of WHO in the development of Ayurveda, this can be a question. So these are all 5 marks questions which are usually asked, like commentators of the Brihatris, like Sushruta Samhita or Ashtanga Hridaya. This can be a specific question. So very, very important, and you should always make sure that you know these. See, Ayurveda Itihasa is a part wherein you have no chance to lose marks, because if you know that, you can write it. You have to just know it, that's all. So you need to just know the information. If you know the information, you can write it and you can get marks immediately. There is nothing like analyzing, or there is nothing to be logically applied or anything like that, right? So these are the questions which are usually asked for 5 marks from the Itihasa part. Then for short answers, the same approach will remain, but you can see that in the short essay part, from this thing, you can see that, see the institutes, like for example Banaras Hindu University, about that for 3 marks it can be asked. For Drug and Cosmetic Act, only the act you need to define and write the important aspects of it, then it covers the answer. Then traditional knowledge digital library, TKDL, can be asked. NIA Jaipur, now see, NIA Jaipur recently has been elevated as deemed to be university, so there is all chances of asking this particular question. And also the IPGT ARA has been renamed, and also it has been given the important national importance, right? It happened recently on the 13th of November. So this is a specific point, therefore this can be asked. So these update also has to be written by you, okay? And also the about the personalities, it may be asked, like Shanagatra, Hemadri, Chakrapani. About these personalities, what you have to write is mainly on the itihasa vyakti, itihasa kala, and itihasa vishaya. Always when it comes to the itihasa, that is the itihasa part, you are always have to focus on these three things. That is itihasa vyakti. For example, if you consider Madhavakara, this he is a itihasa vyakti. So about him, you have to write 2-3 sentences. And you write 2 sentences about the kala, that is when he lived. That is, it is direct, it is a fact, you will know. And itihasa vishaya, that is what he has done, what is his contribution. So these 3 things are important: about the author, or about the personality, about his time, or about the time of the personality, and also the vishaya, that is what were the important contributions. So it may be any subject in Ayurveda Itihasa, or any topic or concept. You need to write focus on these 3 things. 1 mark for each, you will get definitely 3 marks. Okay, so itihasa kala, itihasa vyakti, and itihasa vishaya, if you consider, then you will be done with the answer. Okay, so I think we have covered most of the aspects related to the approach of the questions related to the Padartha Vijnana. Hope it will be much helpful for you to understand the this has helped you to understand how you need to approach the questions, and also how you can make your answers more attractive, and also fetch more marks. Okay, so I think with this we will you have some idea now as how to present your paper effectively, and also make sure that you get more marks, and also further on move with the professional career. Well, okay, so thank you for providing me an opportunity. If you have any question, you can ask.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, short essays are a bit long. Some answers are long. How to complete it in 2 pages?
Yeah. So as I said, the components of the answer should be properly understood. There may be a lot of things which you have studied in that particular heading, but make sure that you write only the things which are asked in the answer, like or asked in the question paper. Now, there may be many things which are dealt in the in your class regarding that particular topic. For example, if it is a question on Akasha Mahabhuta, then it will not be only Akasha Mahabhuta as such, right? It will be write the properties, or write the Lakshana of gunas of Akasha Mahabhuta, and write the application of Akasha Mahabhuta in the clinical practice. It will be like that. So focus only on what is asked, or focus only on what are the action verbs used. So whether it is explain, whether it is enumeration, whether it is defining, always concentrate on what is asked. Nowadays you will not get the questions which are very abstract. It will not be general, it will be very specific, and each of the component of the answer will be well defined with, or associated with the mark. So therefore you need not worry about that. So always concentrate on what is asked in the question paper, rather than what is there studied by you. Okay, that has to be always focused upon. Then you will be able to effectively address the question. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Any other question?
Sir, in 5 marks, you have told we have to write functions and applications.
Yeah.
What's the difference, sir?
Yeah, functions, specifically, I just mentioned the general word as function, because function means the karma or the karya, or what it is helpful for. For example, purpose. Like, for example, now we said Akasha Mahabhuta. So, where all Akasha Mahabhuta has its importance, like the avayavas of the Sharira, wherein the Akasha Mahabhuta is more predominant, those things you have to list under under this particular concept. Applications means you can develop different things, like in research you can have the applications of Akasha Mahabhuta, wherein understanding the avayavas in a different way. That is for Panchabhutika Chikitsa, for in the Chikitsa aspect. Like you have Bhutebhyo hi paramesya esmat nasti chinta chikitsite, it is told. So in Panchamahabhuta, on a very subtle level, how to understand the the Akasha Mahabhuta, whether it will be helpful for us to understand the components of the manas and also things which come under that viviktata, etc. Right? So like the aspects which are related to research or even further applications, that you have to consider under applications rather than the actual karma, the factual things which you have learned under that particular answer, that you need to write in the karma. Whereas the applications which are seen in as clinical applications or applications in the drug or applications in research, that you need to focus more in the application part. Okay, so it is more an extra and on an add-on. The application is an add-on, but this karma or these functions, what I have mentioned as a general term, there you need to write what is the fact or what has been described in the text or described in the under that particular subject, that you need to always focus upon. Okay, hope I have answered the question.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Anyone else?
Sir, one more. Sir,
Yeah.
what if for 5 marks they will be providing us 2 pages? If at all, if we complete the whole answer, like all the content will be written, like we'll complete in 1.5 pages. Will this be a bad impression for the invigilator? Like we have not at all completed 2 pages and marks will be deducted.
No, 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 no. That will not be there, because if the answer is demanding only such content, then there will be no extra expectations by the evaluator. Whatever content is expected for that particular question, if you have answered for that, it will be done. But only thing is, sometimes some students will have in a handwriting which is much smaller. Some people will have a larger handwriting. So to have a extensive page remark or page range, that is why 2 pages has been specifically dedicated. Otherwise, people who have a big handwriting may or big font, whoever uses it, they may have a lack of pages. That is why specifically it is mentioned, specifically they have given a little more ample space. Of course, the long answers also, it is not mandatory that you have to write all 10 pages. If your answer completes by 8th page or 9th page also, it is okay, right? This also is seen. But if the contents are covered completely, then it is fine. Need not always go with the length of the answers. Okay, that will not have a bad impression on the evaluator, definitely.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Anyone else want to ask queries? If you want, you ask without wasting time. This is the value. This is time is valuable. Chance. This chance you won't get further. This is valuable chance. You ask. If anything is there, you ask. Otherwise, okay. I think any more queries are there? Please forward to. Please message me. I will forward to sir. So.
Definitely, sir. They can forward their queries to you, and I'll be more than happy to share my views on that.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your valuable time, scholarly words, a very effective presentation, and surely when teacher become excellent means what the students are expecting. According to that, if a teacher is delivering, that is beyond everything. So thank you for your valuable time, and thank you for your presentation. I request Shruti Madam to render vote of thanks.
Namaste, sir. Thanks for your knowledge piece. I thank you, our beloved principal sir, to give us the opportunity to conduct these kind of lectures for students. I am sure that students are benefited from today's lecture a lot. And I thank you, students, to participate actively. Once again, thank you, sir. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, madam. And thank you all students for actively listening to the session. And all the best for your examinations. Thank you. Dhanyawad.
Thank you, sir. In the name of department, in the name of college, in the name of all the students, I'm thanking you a lot. And as though previously we planned to conduct on first, but due to some circumstances, I requested sir in the busy schedule you accepted and given us a great lecture. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. My pleasure.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.